after my session, and we will have, we are going to discuss and thoroughly understand about what is exactly Six Sigma. What is the meaning of Sigma?
There is a problem in your mic, I think, please.
My mic?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, now it's okay.
It's okay, wow. Right. Okay, I have not made any changes. Done. So
it's okay now.
Fine. So let us understand what is Six Sigma and why there is a 6 in front of it. Good examples. Okay. So some basics about statistics and normal distribution and what is specification limit and control limit. All of you already talked very good about the specification limit and control limit, and you will recall, and then understand the difference between different process, 3 sigma, 4 sigma, 6 sigma, and the relationship between sigma and the sigma level and the benefits to the organization. This is what we are going to understand in the next 1 hour or so. I want all of you to be very participative, right? And see here, I'm showing a ring of fire in my slide. A ring of fire in my slide. If I ask you to jump inside the ring of fire and then you need to come out safely on the other side, tell me which portion of the ring of fire or which point of the ring of fire will be more safer to you. Where will you jump exactly inside the ring of fire?
Towards center.
Towards the center.
Very good. So this is called the central tendency. This is called central tendency. Once you understand the central tendency, the amount of risk associated can be understood. The moment you choose your central tendency or the point of jump to be the center, you are choosing this point because you are very clear that the risk associated is minimum, isn't it? You are far away from the outer ring where there is temperature, so the risk is very low. Similarly, in your business process also, the moment you understand where is the central tendency, you can also understand the risk. Am I correct? Yes or no? So statistically, central tendency can be understood. All that you need to do is collect some data and calculate the central tendency. Central tendency can be calculated using statistical parameters like mean, median, or mode, right? So mean, median, or mode. So all of them can let you understand where is the central tendency, right? And see here, this is the point you all would like to jump. Suppose if I want you to jump repeatedly, will you be able to jump through the same point? Difficult. So I slightly enlarge it. So instead of point, now I am giving you an area. This is how business also running. Customer never give you the target. He gives the target along with the tolerance, isn't it? Plus or minus. So the point is now converted into a small circle. Now your business is to continuously jump inside the white color circle. If I want you to jump several thousand times, will you be able to jump always inside the white color circle, which is very small? Difficult for you, isn't it? Some of your jumps, you may jump outside the white color circle, right? And if you continue, maybe a few more jumps, you may make it here. That means when you might shift from white color circle to yellow and yellow to orange. When you come to the orange, can you comment about the risk involved? Is that the risk is more or less now? If you are jumping in the orange color area, what will be the risk? Is it more or less?
More.
Be more. That means you are now close to the temperature, and so you will be hit by the temperature. So how do you understand the risk? You can understand that your risk is high because you moved away from the center. Whenever any product or any point moves away from the center, the risk is increasing. There are two things that is helping you to understand the risk. One is central tendency. Another one is the distance from the center. Am I correct? One is the central tendency itself. Another one is the distance of your each product or each point or each jump from the center. If the distance from the center is more, what happens? You go closer to the risky zone, right? So you can understand the risk associated in your business by two kinds of statistical parameters. One is central tendency, which can be understood either using mean, median, or mode. Another one is you call it the variation, spread, or dispersion. All these things can be understood, either using range, standard deviation, or variance. All of you understand why we require central tendency, why we require the spread? Clear? What is the use? Both of them are helping us to understand the risk associated. We wanted to be sure that the risk is minimum in our business. Thereby, when you reduce the risk, almost the success is guaranteed. Right. And now we are going to understand the difference between customer tolerance and process tolerance, or the connection between customer tolerance and process tolerance. So I want you to watch a video. Right. Let me play this file, and then I will be asking you a few questions. Okay, come on. So what did you see in the video? Come on, guys. What did you see in the video?
The little elephant is enjoying the water, and she's coming inside the box and falling inside and
Very good. So Suresh is saying that elephant is enjoying. How about others? Do you all think really the elephant is enjoying, or is it really, struggling? Is it struggling to take bath, or is it enjoying the bathing process? You understand the difference?
Struggling to what?
It is struggling.
First it was struggling.
Yeah, it was actually struggling. Very good observation. Elephant is not really enjoying, it is struggling. Why was the struggle? Why was the struggle? Why is it struggling? Come on, I want
Insufficient space. Insufficient
Answer, yeah.
space.
Yes.
The insufficient space due to its size.
Size of the elephant and size of the tub are not matching. Size of the elephant seems to be almost equal to the size of the tub. And so there is a struggle. Similarly, in business, there is something called customer tolerance, and there is also another thing called process tolerance. If we keep both of them almost equal, your business will struggle like this elephant. Do you all understand the relationship between customer tolerance and the process tolerance? If the process tolerance and customer tolerance are almost same, the elephant and the tub are of almost same size. And so the result is a struggle. So this is why many business struggle to achieve the quality. Here, what you saw is elephant size equal to tub size. In business, similar kind of struggle will happen if the customer tolerance and process tolerance are almost same. So it's very important you understand what is customer tolerance, you understand what is process tolerance. If you understand that, you will find a way to convert the struggle into a pleasure. So let me show you how a pleasurable situation will look like. Let me show you how the situation changes here. I'm going to change the situation by changing the size of the tub. What you can do it in the business, you can decide, right? Now I'm giving a solution for the current scenario because I don't want to change the elephant. Elephant will be same, but I will increase the tub size. Let's see what happens. Now, what is the situation? Is it the elephant now enjoying, able to enjoy the bath?
Yes, yes,
The reason
very
is,
much.
we increased the tub size. Same way you can convert your business from struggle to a pleasure, from challenge to a pleasure by maintaining the relative size, right? You should be able to adjust either process tolerance with respect to the customer tolerance or vice versa. But in my opinion, adjusting customer tolerance is impossible. Am I correct? Yes or no? Will you be able to control the customer tolerance?
No.
So we can only see to that we reduce the process tolerance. Keep the process tolerance smaller compared to the customer tolerance. If you keep the process tolerance smaller compared to the customer tolerance, your business can really become a pleasure and everything you produce will be now accepted by the customer, right? So it is in your hand whether to run your business as a challenge or as a pleasure. The secret lies between the customer tolerance and process tolerance. Hope all of you understood the relationship. And let us connect our learning here in this second example. There is a parking area where the width of the parking area is capital D. And you have got three different cars. One car is bigger in size, other car is moderate size, the third car is smaller in size. Now you want to park this car inside the parking area. And since the car is bigger, will you be able to park the car inside now? Possible or not?
No, it's not possible.
No, not possible.
If you still try to park the car, your car will definitely get damaged. Similarly, if your process size or the process tolerance is wider than the customer tolerance, failures are sure. Definitely there will be rejections. So this is not an indication of a healthier business. Whenever the process tolerance is wider than the customer tolerance, business is definitely a challenge and not healthier. The second situation, car and the parking area are almost the same. Will you now be able to park the car inside? Yes or no?
Yes.
This time it is yes. But again,
More attention.
with the full attention. You can't even make a small mistake. Even a small mistake will damage your car because the car size and the parking size are almost same. You have to be extra careful, and then no room for any elements. Opening the door, coming out of the car, everything is a big challenge. So it looks that you can park the car, but actually when you execute it, there are a lot of struggles here also. So the best scenario is the third one. It's very small compared to the parking area. It's only half the size. So you can effortlessly park the car even if you make small mistakes, shift to the left side or right side by an inch or so. Nothing will happen to the car. You will safely park the car, and even after parking the car, you can see a lot of moving around space. You can open the door, come out, and then you can do it effortlessly. So which is giving you an advantage, a better.
Satisfying has been extremely helpful and it was the best.
Come again. Come again. I'm not getting who's talking. So the third scenario is advantageous. You can easily park the car and failures are very, very rare. Same way, if you make sure the process tolerance, right, much smaller compared to the customer tolerance, failure cannot happen easily. Got it? So now, in this case, yes. See here, the walls of the parking area, the boundaries, these are called, no, these are nothing but the specification limit. And the edges of the car are nothing but the process limits. Process limits are otherwise called as control limits. If you can keep the control limit inside the specification limit, no, you can prevent failures. Now the third example. So imagine a pilot landing the aircraft. When a pilot is landing the aircraft, all the passengers inside would expect the aircraft to be landed around the center of the runway. Am I right? Because the center of the runway is more safer, comes with lowest risk. Otherwise, this is the customer targeted landing area. So most of the points are here. And I monitor some landings of the pilot, and all the points are marked on the runway. Now when I visualize, I could see the pattern getting formed. This kind of pattern will be there in all business process also. Most of the business process will follow this kind of bell-shaped pattern only. That's why normal distribution is very important. Knowledge on normal distribution is very important. And now you can see the curve appearing taller in the center. Why the curve appear taller in the center is because this is the point where the pilot actually want to land the aircraft. So most of the landings happened here, and that is why the curve is having a peak at the center. So when you know the average, you can understand, you will see the peak around the average only. At the same time, there are many landing points. Some of the landing points are on the right side of the targeted point. Some of the landing points are on the left side of the targeted point. So these deviations are actually not preferred. We expect everything to be around the center, right? So the more the deviation, more likely that the pilot can land the aircraft outside the runway, isn't it? So the deviations are not preferred, and the central tendency should be on the targeted landing point. So this line, central line in the runway, is nothing but the targeted point, and the average landing of the pilot is indicated here. The expectation or the requirement for success is average and the customer target should lie in line, should overlap, right? The statistical average should be on the customer target. What you see here is the extreme landing points on the right side. Similarly, what you see on the left side is the extreme landing point on the left side. The extreme landing points on the right and left can be correlated to the extreme outputs from your business. It could be the worst product, or it could be the worst customer experience. It could be anything, right? The worst thing that can happen from your business process, can fall here. We are going to call this point as control limit. So you have a control limit on the right side and you have a control limit on the left side. What is this point? The runway is ending here. The runway ending here means beyond it's a failure. Beyond which is rejection, right? On the right side, there is a rejection line. On the left side also the rejection line. Rejection lines indicate that customer cannot tolerate failure beyond this, isn't it? So those are called upper specification limit and lower specification limit. So what is this green color line? The customer targeted landing. What do you see on the right side? Red color, upper specification limit. Customer can tolerate up to this, but definitely not beyond. It's not safe for their life. Similarly, on the left side, the worst landing made by the pilot, you are seeing on the right side, that is upper control limit. Similarly, the worst landing of the pilot on the left side is seen as the lower control limit. If you are able to maintain the control limit inside the specification limit, it simply means all your landings are safe landings. All of you are able to understand? If you can get control limit inside the specification limit, you can make a conclusion that all the landings are safe landings.
Yes.
All of you are able to understand. All right. So Now you have three different pilots, right? Green, red, and yellow. And tell me which pilot would you prefer to fly with? Whom do you fly?
Green.
Green.
Right? Because his central tendency is close to your target, because you want to land in the runway, preferably in the center, which is more safer for you. But all of them seem to be equally consistent, but he is consistently good and this fellow is consistently bad. This fellow is moderate, consistency is okay, but central tendency is not okay compared to the green. So green is preferred. Right. So in any business, if you collect data and calculate the average, the process average should align with the customer target. Process average should align with the customer target. And drift, like the aircraft drifting to the right or drifting to the left, landings on the right, landings on the left, same thing will happen in your business also. Customer gives a target, you produce some product right on the right side of target, you also produce some products on the left side of the target. That is not preferred. This is what is called variation. This variation is generally not preferred. So keep the variations low. Customer limits, upper specification limit and lower specification limit. Whenever you cross the specification limits, it will lead to external failure. And process will always have its own limits. We named them as upper control limit and lower control limit. If you cross the upper control limit and lower control limit, it doesn't mean that customer will reject. It means that a failure happened internally, right? But if the internal failure goes to the extent of going beyond the specification limit, that will become an external failure also. And that is what Vinod sir has already clearly highlighted. If defect can become a defective, right? An internal failure can become an external failure also. So the average and the standard deviation helps us to understand how are we running the business, right? Average will help us to locate the central tendency. Standard deviation along with the average will help us to locate the control limit, right? So average and standard deviation are very important from any business data. How many of you played this game of shooting the balloons in beach? You have played, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is required here is we want to hit the balloon in the center. If you want to hit the balloon in the center, what is most important is how do you hold the gun? That is very important. Am I correct? You must hold the gun in the correct position. Look at my slide and tell me, is that the gun is held in the correct position so that I can hit the balloon? Yes or no?
No.
Yes. Seems yes.
It
Yes.
seems yes. Right.
Yes.
You will be able to judge whether the position is correct or not, whether the process design is correct or not, whether everything is going properly or not by looking at the average. How you are seeing the position of the gun properly aligning with the target. Same way, process average should align with the target. Process average should be equal to the target. Right. You are holding the gun in the correct position. Does it mean you are going to hit the target every time you shoot? Not very sure, isn't it? Right. For that, you should actually perform. You should actually perform and see whether you are able to shoot it or not. So I shoot it multiple times, and all multiple times I am able to hit the target. That means the variation in my process is low, isn't it? So the standard deviation calculated using the process data, which is sigma, and then the average calculated using the process data, which is X bar. If you take care of both, how do you take care? X bar should be on the target. Sigma should be as low as possible. Then your process will deliver the best quality. Right. So hope all of you understood the importance of average and standard deviation. So this is the formula for the standard deviation.